Yo, what's happening, Captain? Hey, look.
Hey, yo, what's happening, Captain? Captain. We're off to a terrible start. This whole podcast is already fucked up, man. Scuffed. Welcome. Welcome to What's Happening, Captain. I kind of did it again, didn't I? Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. That's a vocal warm-up you should do. Is my hair looking dripping? It's pretty shiny right now. It's pretty shiny. The curls are tight out. The shower is like dry. They'll expand bigger and bigger. And then it'll deflate as it coats in grease. Grease from Del Taco medium fries, which make your gut feel like somebody is reaching inside of it and cranking and turning. I don't think I can eat fried potatoes anymore. This is what's happening, Cap'n. And first, I'll say first off, before we started this podcast, Nemo X Serious subbing for 20 months to the Twitch channel. I'm recording live right now. I am Captain Hardluck for now. That brand may have to change because of Facebook. Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe this is truly my platform. This is where I'm here. Let me get itched a little bit. This is where I'm here to tell my side of the story. I swear, 5 years from now, because I'm going to be like, nobody cares what I say. Nobody's ever going to watch episode 1. There's going to be 20 views and 5 of them are going to get like 5 minutes through it. That's the reality of YouTube content. That's the reality of all content. At least for me. I don't know. It's like people have to be sold on why they should watch you. But anyways, I mean, why should you watch me? Why should you listen to me? I don't know. I think this is supplementary. I think this needs to be supplementary. I just want to upload more to YouTube mainly. And maybe I'll cut the audio and we'll put it on Spotify or something. Anchor, whatever it's called now. Canker. I think it's owned by the Canker sisters from Ed, and Eddie. I don't know if people on planet Earth are ready to listen to me talk for over an hour. But that is exactly the plan. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be freestyling, 60 miling per hour. And you're going to be on the adventure. You're going to be like, I'm Speed Racer, and you're like Chim Cham and the little kid with Down syndrome that's in Speed Racer. You guys know who the little kid with Down syndrome. Anyways, I hope you're having a good day. We're recording live, and it's nice. I enjoy it. And feel free, this can be interactive. If you're in the chat right now, I want to see what you have to say. I want to see how you feel about the content. I want to know what your questions are. I want to know, like, just anything. Do you need life advice? Or, are you worried about your stocks? Do you think I'm heinous? Do you hate me vigorously? Do you have a serious critique that you'd like to give me? That's what I want to see in chat. That's what I want to see in chat. I think that most of this is the pilot, right? And what does a pilot do? A pilot dies in an airplane. That's what a pilot does. If it doesn't do that, it's weird. People are surprised. You might actually get a golden watch. They don't give out a lot of golden watches actually anymore. And if they do, you have to pay like $500 for it. And it's a Seiko. Which is fine. They're a fine brand of watch. Listen, I don't want to start beefing with the watch community. I'm watching you too, you know? Because I be posting Leiji Matsumoto watches. Okay? I know they're art pieces. Nice piece. That's what I say. That's what I say when somebody says, hey, I got this Matsumoto thing. I say, nice piece. Nobody's ever flashed a fucking Yamaroli at me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever like really flexed on me with the Liegeverse watch. But if they did, I would be impressed. I'd be sucking some dick at the con. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to alienate the entire viewership of the podcast by discussing what I just saw in the chat about somebody is going to eat the pilots, and I think I've triggered somebody's deviant behaviors. So I'm not going to judge those. I'm just going to avoid them. And that's fine. So, like I said, it's an interactive podcast. Nowadays, they got people out here, they'll have you call in, tell me your problems. Theo Vaughn's got, you know, cutie southern sounding girls talking about how they're getting off the sauce, and he's going to call them right up. And this isn't to throw shade at Theo Vaughn, but I'm just saying, I might call. So there's the opportunity. There might be the opportunity to call in, get your questions answered live. But you have to join the Discord for that. I'll post a link to that in the description. Or maybe QR codes. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Snap the QR code in the video or something? So if you're watching the video, you might think that I never unpacked when I moved in. Yes. Next question. Why didn't you unpack? You ever feel like you might have to run away at a moment's notice? Not because of any like grand scheme, not because you've been like plotting anything other than like trying to get out of your own misery. But you know, you might just not feel safe. Have you ever not felt safe? Honestly, this is like my room. This is my space. This is the space I have. And I make the best of it. Most of the stuff in the boxes that you see is selling. Yes, I'm safe right now. Thank you. I just said I don't feel safe. That doesn't mean I'm not safe. We have to make this distinction in society, you know, because not everything is safe. And, you know, people feel safe when they shouldn't. That's a thing too. Like when they walk into a safe space and then all of a sudden they feel safe, like shit can still happen in the safe space. I don't know. There's still asteroids. I can't help you. There's no help. There will be some drawing going on, so I will talk about future live stream. I haven't heard anything different from Fumecom, so I think after Christmas I think there'll be something between Christmas and New Year's. So that'll be fun. And I think that'll be fun. So keep an eye out for that. I owe a lot of people drawings. They are going to be bad. They are going to be quickly done. It is going to be a show, but we're going to have fun with it. I think we're going to have fun with it. And that's what's fun. I do a little drawing. I do a little, you know, just entertaining the kids. And by kids, I mean, I hope you're all adults. And if you're a kid, keep it to yourself and don't go in the comments section. Don't say anything, for God's sake. Don't talk to me. So yeah, I just blanked out, but I know I have a lot of stuff to talk about. And the question being, am I going to talk about what's going on right now. And I don't think that's necessarily even the best idea for the pilot, because, you know, people might want to start with episode 1, and then they have like no idea. They have no context. They don't know what's going on. And honestly, they probably shouldn't. This is probably just this episode until anything ever happens with it. And I'm already starting to think like, damn, okay, well, how long have we been going now? Okay. I got about 15 minutes into it. I got about 10 minutes into the pod. All right. We got another 12 of these to go. All right. No, I don't think it's a problem, but what I'm thinking about talking about is the context and the inspiration, really, to have the guts, to have the cojones, to have the delulu state of mind, that I can actually spin a yarn, tell a tale, get everybody around a campfire, play kumbaya, and then everybody goes back to their tent and they just fuck, and they're just fucking. And it's loud too. And everybody can hear everybody else. And it's like, why are we even in the tents? And then everybody goes out of the tents, and then your child doesn't look like you 9 months later. So that can be a problem for people, but I think that I can make it fun. It's at least fun for the people. Actually, the thing about that situation is there's always going to be like a dude, at least one dude who's not going to participate, you know, or somebody's going to get left out. It's just, it never works out where everybody's going to get laid, right? We're all going to get, it's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. There's always going to be somebody off to the side who lives to tell the tale. Thankfully, they have the least amount of friends in the group, so they're not going to tell as many people until they start a podcast and tell on themselves. I don't think that ever happened to me. Somebody might remind me someday. I'm trying to take real tiny sips of water, real tiny. Get it off the stash. It's probably glistening. Everything is probably glistening. Listen, but the real inspiration to think that I can spin the yarn is that, you know, I just feel like I'm wasting my time at my therapist not recording the sessions, because the jokes are landing. The story is entertaining. They're on the journey with me, you know? Sometimes I feel I lose them, sure. Okay? Who's hitting 100 every pod? No. Nobody's doing that. Nobody should expect that unless you're an idiot. Yeah, so it's good to land the jokes with the therapist, and if I look away, it's because I'm reading the chat. I'm sorry if the chat, I'm not so sure about like if I'm gonna read every chat for the podcast, but then like why would anybody watch? So that can be an issue too. So I'll just do it. And the thing is, if you completely derail the podcast, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm not going to let that happen. So if it derails the podcast, I'm not going to read it. But yeah, make your therapist laugh. I feel like I'm wasting, this is earning potential, right? But it is good. It is good because I workshop my stories with my therapist, and I'm actually going through things right now that I would maybe turn into a movie someday. And I have moved over 2,000 miles across the country from where I originally started. And I feel it would be a wasted opportunity at this point not to just make the final stretch and get my ass to California way and just try and do an open mic. And if I can make people laugh, maybe they'll let me eat. I would like to eat. I would like to eat off of my, maybe it's a nice dinner every once in a while. Maybe, Harvey Weinstein takes me into his office, into his jail cell office, and makes me an offer I can't refuse. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like when I suck a dick. So making the therapist laugh. And yeah, I told that. So that's like going to LA or the surrounding area without a script idea. You know, it's kind of what you do. I don't want to necessarily make a movie, but if I was in LA and God forbid I made somebody important laugh and they ask me like, what's your idea? I go, it's Back to School meets Book of Mormon meets Manhattan meets Ghost World. It's like, and that might be too expository, but life is what it is. And I'm sorry for what just happened. I had some yogurt earlier today, and I put some powder in it. So pow pow, I see, ayo. It's got that, maybe some quinoa in there. Maybe it's got some acai. And those little seeds get stuck in you. Just stuck in you. Left in you. Not even in the tum-tum, in the hole from the throat to the goat. You know what I'm saying? So that's, if you saw that, what that was, and how I'm so sorry. I hope you can forgive me. I hope we can get back on the right feet. Hope I can get back on my feet with everybody. But yeah, this is an interactive pod, you know. Tell me how you're feeling. I want to see if you've got questions. I'm really receptive to questions, you know. So I appreciate that. So then we're back to, well, I don't really want to tell the story I'm going through right now because I'm actually still kind of workshopping it, which is funny. It's like I'm workshopping the tale of my own life, which is goofy as fuck. But I think it's just kind of the nature of the beast I might be moving towards. And yes, California way, Satan lives in California. Satan lives, I mean, doesn't he have Death Valley, not Devil Valley? Maybe Devilman Valley? I don't know how to, I don't want to bring Go Nagai into things. Nemo, I am going to be posting an update on Toe and So Long very soon. This week was the week I needed to kind of get through, and it's all part of that story. Toe and So Long, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this. I did tease this a bit. The Facebook issue. If we want to talk about the Facebook issue, I've talked about the Facebook issue. I had a problem with Facebook, lost some accounts because I posted something ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous something I posted. And I think I can bring it up here. Hopefully I've got enough wherewithal. I was watching like this guy Randall Carlson or whatever. I'm just making sure I don't have any goofy tabs open. I'm actually going to, I actually have a lot of writing open, so I'll close that. But I'll essentially show you guys what I'm dealing with here. It's kind of messed up because Facebook has decided that an image I posted was a deliberate attempt for me to sell drugs. Now, the nature of said drugs is unspecified, and that's because it was a response that Facebook had. And Facebook had to respond to MLM like CBD products or tinctures and oils of other kinds as well. Not just CBD, not just the good marijuana leaf. Ooh. You know, not just that. There was a lot of snake oil on Facebook, and Facebook had to crack down. And back in probably 2018, 2019, I don't think it was 2017. I think it was 2018, but I could be wrong. I made a little meme. And what I want to do right now, I want to show you guys that meme because I just think it's important for you to know what I've done, why Facebook, and you know what? Maybe they're within their rights. Maybe I need to take a long, hard look at myself and decide what I'm going to do with my life. Is this what I'm going to do with my life? Is this what I'm going to do with my whole life? King CBD? Why is it mirrored? Why is it mirrored? Why is everything like this all the time? This looks good though. This is an aesthetic for the podcast. Just reverse Chrome window. If you can't get behind reverse Chrome window, I don't know what to tell you. Oh my God, things like look different on different screens. This is my life. Oh, now it's upside down. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, that was fun. Hold on. We almost have this. I don't understand why it's like that. I don't understand what happened at what point in my life. Flip horizontally. You ever flip horizontally, guys? How do you guys feel? So this is King CBD. I just want to let Twitch know specifically right now that this is not an advertisement for CBD products. I guess I have to make that 1000% clear. I have to let everybody know. King CBD will not actually deliver on his promises. And if you PM him, he will not respond. If you sought CBD products from King CBD, not to be confused with King DDD from Kirby B, Dan, Dan to Dan. Not to be effing confused, guys. I don't want you to get confused. I don't want anybody to look at this image and just start thinking, oh, I have joint pain. Oh, my daughter's having seizures. I know who to hit up now. No, don't hit up King CBD. But Facebook decided that King CBD posed a threat. It was a problem. There was concern. And so the original question I was asked in chat was, how's towing so long? An Instagram page with 1,000 followers is gone and technically not allowed back on the platform. Now, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on that. But once I lose 1,000 follower Instagram page, I know that there will probably be people. I know, Nemo, you are probably one of the people who thinks that Towing So Long needs to continue regardless. I wish I could believe that right now. There will likely be, because of this and a million other problems that I'm going to try not to get too into. Let's just say Q1 2025 is when shipping will probably begin. And instead of printing, 100 or more, I'm printing to order. So everything is, unless it's like stickers or something, or just something where like minimum print run or whatever, I might get those. Maybe I'll ship out extra. I'll have them around, whatever. But yeah, man, it's once you lose 1,000 follower Instagram and technically can't put your project back on the platform, that I don't know where else to grow it. I don't know what else to do with it. And honestly, it looks terrible that the Instagram's gone. Looks terrible. Like, shit couldn't have really gone worse with that. And other shit's hanging by a thread. So I'm pretty stressed out about it. I will need to sue eventually. There's also a lot of stuff going on with my family. I hesitate to say that impacts me personally a great deal beyond like it's really, really sad and it's frustrating. You know, it's really painful to hear about and you want to do something about it, but I'm kind of on a fucking quest. And even if I was there, like, what the fuck would I do? I'd just be there, you know, crack a few jokes. And I wish maybe, you know, maybe I need, I don't know. I don't text with my family much. We've never been big texters. I don't get a lot of people reaching out to me personally. I'm usually reaching out. It's tough. You know, communication is a little strained in my family. There's some problems there, generational issues, and everybody's got their own shit going on. So unfortunately, this part of the podcast was a giant fucking bummer. And how long did it take to become a bummer? About 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to move away from that topic. Other than it's funny as fuck that King CBD triggered Facebook enough and they saw an appeal. Somebody literally saw an appeal and decided it was not. Things were still unclear. They weren't sure. They had doubts. And, you know, fuck him. Fuck this guy. Burn him. And it almost feels personal, you know. It almost feels like, no, Nemo, I mean, unless you want to start giving me tons of money, no. Like lots of money. You know, what you're doing right now, I think is more than enough. The fact that you support it all, I'll tell you what, it's nice. When I get a Twitch check, it pays a bill. So, you know, you're doing more than I could ask for. So yeah, I don't want to be bummed out for the rest of the podcast. I'd like to tell some entertaining stories. Sorry. And I know that the audio is not ideal and there's probably echo and maybe you hear a dog or, you know, it's piercing, or maybe my S's are too pronounced and it's over compressed or something. I don't know. Maybe it sounds like, I don't know. Trying to pick it back up. Trying to pick her back up here. Okay. Because I want this to be a fun experience, at least as fun as it can get. And I want the stories to be fun to a degree. And I'm trying to think, you know, where do we go? Where am I at right now? Where am I at? Like, let's start with the present, right? I don't want to go back and tell you about, you know, Daddy was mad. My dad was mad. Dad got mad. He said, oh, so stupid. You know, we don't have to go back that far yet. But I was talking about my room and what is this setting? I don't think I ever really got out that I do reselling. So I've been criticized for this heavily. That I think I don't know, multiple people have been like, oh, you resell on eBay? You sell like smalls on eBay? Well, they're not all smalls, but yeah, I mean, yeah. It's supplements. So anyways, that's what is mostly in this room. There is my manga and comic book and how to draw manga collection on this row. Maybe we'll get into that at some point. Yeah. But anyways, and things look disheveled, but they're in their place. And this, basically every foot of this room is just filled with stuff, but thankfully, like, there's a pathway and there's not really too much crap on the floor. Not really. Everything's in its place. It's like organized chaos. That's kind of how I live my life. I know that probably most women would lose their minds living like this. And maybe some men too. Don't get me wrong. Plenty of men. Actually, my father was fairly OCD, and I realized I have my own obsessive compulsive tendencies as well. But I'm gonna munch on a antacid, which apparently has no talc, dyes, parabens, or artificial sweeteners. And it's a lemon sorbet. So it'll make my tum-tum feel better. I should talk about my struggles. Struggling with biliary dyskinesia. Gallbladder issue. And so that's my that's my American chronic health dream. The American dream has moved from career-oriented to outsmarting your autoimmune disease. I think that's why Jordan Peterson is so popular with Americans. And this has nothing... I've enjoyed his content. I enjoy his Bible lectures specifically. And, that's neither here nor there. But I will say the only eating meat so that you don't die... is really appealing to the American spirit for one reason or another, right? So we enjoy that. What else is going on right now? I think that actually one of the bigger motivators for me to do this podcast at this point is I am doing stand-up comedy for the first time. And I've always liked comedy, dabbled in comedy. I've been on stage a lot. I've cracked a lot of jokes. I've gotten laughs. I've written jokes that have been performed on stage. They've gotten laughs usually. And I just enjoy the talking and I was, I was talking about Theo Von. I was watching Theo Von and him doing his solo podcast. And why is it a solo podcast? Why is it just me? Do I think that people want to look at my face for an hour and a half? No, I don't think that. No. What I do think is that I'm demanding one, unless I have a guest where, and well, that's a part of it too. If I have a guest, well, why are they my guest? And it would be fun to have people who are comedians or other content creators on and just shoot the shit with them. And maybe I could do more interview stuff here. But being able to rely on myself I think I'd like to do this weekly, if not more, Nobody's going to be keeping track, right? I just upload it. I just upload the shit. Just uppies. Nemo, you're out of control. Nemo, you're out of control. Let's talk about this. Let's have a conversation before we move in that direction, my man. I'm scared. It should be, I don't know. You got to give it to hold on. Hold on. I'm on a train of thought here. So the podcast is solo. The podcast is this is solo. This is me. What's happening? Capping. I'm the capping. Crunch to meet you. Okay. I'm demanding. If I've got somebody on the podcast with me, it's because I know that they are going to be ready in any situation to make it funny or make it flow or contribute. Just they're gonna, and there's not going to be a fucking argument or some misunderstanding or I feel like I have to take control of my own show or something, just ego trips. I don't want to deal with it. And I already do the Free Arcadia podcast, which I've only done 11 episodes of, and that's Liagiverse, and that's my fan content. I do anime content too. Probably doing too much, but I don't know what other options there are in this world for anybody who struggles to manage the trad grind, you know, where everything's like hanging on the edge at every moment and your like heart is gonna explode, you know. At least you've got serious concerns about heart explosion. And if you haven't talked to your doctor about heart explosion, I recommend you do. I recommend Hartranol as an accompanying medication. So, and that's my legal duty to tell you I'm not your real dad. Oh, what was the message? Okay. I see it. Thank you. So yeah, I want to do a weekly pod mod god here at Godcast. It's a Godcast. It's really what it is. And we'll have a little prayer and we'll hold each other's hands and we'll go, and then somebody will start levitating. The table will start levitating and things will start glowing and electricity and just ghost, you know? So, and I need to decompress and I can't be relying on my therapist to be, you know, you guys got to chip in. You guys got to be my silent. Just be quiet. Just listen. This is good, I swear. And if you don't think it's good, it's actually good. That's what I just have to say about it. And if you're not convinced, well, you know, it's too late. So the story so far, you know, and I'm doing a lot of reselling. Just had some knocking on wood that nothing gets returned or destroyed or this or that or the other motherfucker, you know, whatever. Paying those bills, taking it one day at a time. And that's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do to make it right. So I'm doing stand-up and I've done my third set. And I'm really itching to do more. I did recently go to a jazz concert where the venue is actually an improv theater and spoke with people there. And what they said what they've done in the past is have people open the show with stand-up. So there's the opportunity. This person just has to have enough time throughout whenever on the holiday season to watch my sets and decide for themselves if the laughs from the audience were consistent enough to sort of validate having me come up and make a fool of myself there. And that would be cool. And I actually messaged the Jazz Alliance to see if they wanted a singer. And I don't know if they'll take me, and I don't know if it'll be good, and they'll probably just be like, no, or joining costs like $1,200. It's $100 a month or something, you know, just to perform, which would not be good, but anyways, it was fun. And that would give me more opportunities to workshop stuff and actually maybe do a set and not have to record it. Or feel like I have to record it. Maybe, you know, it's probably good to like record every set, but you don't see like every comedian upload every set, right? They'll just upload some shit that is new or good or crowd work or this or that. So Dr. Doobie with the sub, 2 subs in one evening. Thank you very much. Getting a shout out during the Wusappenin Cappin podcast. It's good to have you here, Dr. Doobie. And I am not currently plugged in, so if I'm, you know, that's kind of intentional. And for now, it's fun to just have the alarms and stuff on, and, you know, it'll probably make people be like, what the fuck? If they actually do watch the podcast. What is that? I hate that. And then they're like, I'm never watching another episode of this ever again. Because you're like not perfect. Because that's what getting new viewership is, and that's what it feels like. So, and I, you know, whatever, I probably have low patience for that kind of stuff too. So here we are, and this is what we're doing right now, and gotta be doing these live stand-up sets. They are a lot of fun, and it's just like, I guess it's just a thing. Like, if you're doing a podcast, you should be able, or if you're doing stand-up, I guess you need to be able to like do a podcast where you talk to a friend. Usually people get friends to do this, and that's the thing. And like, locking down anybody to a commitment for this, that just seems unfucking possible. So sadly, not where I'm at in my life. And you don't get to pick your starting point, but you got to start running. So that's what we're doing here. That's where life is. And maybe things will change and it'll be great. But at this point, it's just me, and I'm great. I'm enough. I'm worth it. I've been going through changes. I'm going through a metamorphosis. I'm becoming the butterfly man effect. What is the butterfly man effect, you ask? If a butterfly claps its cheeks, does it make a sound? And nobody's around to hear it? If a butterfly claps its cheeks and nobody's around, does it make a sound? That's just what I'm curious. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm wondering. These are the thoughts that are just kind of rolling around in my mind. So I'm here, and I'm now, and you know, getting through my first semester, going back to college. That's another thing I'm doing, which was a bit of a Hail Mary situation, but it led to all of the stand-up. And right now I'm writing like crazy. I have like 3 sets that I want to start workshopping. One is like an eclectic set like I've had, and then 2 of them are thematic. So I was like, I have so much to say about this that I want to do a whole set about it, which is like 10 minutes probably. And so the one thing is a little personal. I'm not out of it yet. And it goes back to the movie idea, and I need to not talk about it so much right now. But the other thing is something that I've been going through for a while, and I've definitely talked about it on the live streams. And that's the fact that I am becoming increasingly familiar with Mormonism. Mormonism, it's interesting. Like, they all go on a mission trip, and I went on a mission trip when I was in youth group, but I was not Mormon. But their mission is like years. Like, they're on it for a while. They're like going across, you know, they might be intercontinental. They might just go to Pittsburgh. They might, you know, they figure it out. I think it's whatever you got the budget for. That's kind of how I feel about it, to be perfectly honest. I think it has more to do with the parental budget for your mission trip, and not all of them are the same. And some people might get exempt. I don't really understand how it works, so I'll have to learn more. There's always more to learn, right? So when you're in a situation, you have to realize that there's always more to learn about it. You're not going to know every atom of living in Utah. And even if you live a whole life in Utah, maybe you get close. Maybe you get practically close enough, but... And Mormonism has left quite the impression on me. There is a lot to it. There is... It's interesting because I have experienced a lot of the good parts of it. And I think a lot of the good parts of it are, you know, high levels of friendliness, a willingness to be more communal with your neighbor, which in other places that I've lived, I'm not, you know, honestly, I have experienced decent neighbor, like communal living in most places where I've been, but in Utah is there have been some very extreme examples of it. And one example just being like how I was able to get help to move into this place. I was helped by an old neighbor who I actually spent Thanksgiving at Golden Corral with, which was funny. And it was goofy, and it was a good time. That Golden Corral line was insane. I think they went through like 7 turkeys while we were just there to eat. So I can imagine I am likely not Nemo converting to Mormonism in the near future. It seems unlikely. I think that I have... This is something that I heard a comedian on a podcast talk about recently, and he said that, and it kind of brings a lot of my life full circle, and I kind of get a little karma for it, but I'll tell the whole story. I know that I can never do the Mormonism thing because the restriction, I'm just not good enough for them. Like, I am a disgusting heathen, and I would always be a disgusting heathen to them. Like, I gotta have that coffee in the morning. I just need that coffee, you know? Like, I can, and, well, no. It's mainly the coffee. It's mainly the coffee. It's kind of wild. It's like, I don't believe any religion. And then you kind of look into it, and it's kind of like, well, Joseph Smith would bring over all these dudes and they would like drink coffee and liquor and get real wild and loud about their new thoughts on God. And Joseph Smith's wife was like, you guys have to knock that shit off ASAP. Like, and Joseph Smith was like, okay, nobody can drink or coffee or alcohol anymore. And then they clean shit up real fast, you know? So, you know, do I buy into that? You know, it's like, I got a lot of problems with Joseph Smith. I could say one of my biggest problems that I articulated recently is that Jesus, if he's not anti-government, because he's murdered by the state ultimately. Whatever the people do, whatever the hand washing is, and the symbolism there, or is it the Romans or the Jews, or, you know, well, I'm not talking about any of that. Just what is Christ's relationship with the state? And it seems oppositional, but, and Joseph Smith was definitely opposed to the United States government, but Jesus, I believe, or I think it was Jesus who said, you know, leave unto God's what is God's and unto Caesar what is Caesar's. And essentially saying that, like, a godly life is not, the path of God and righteousness is not the path of the state. And he doesn't say that, you know, dismantle the state, though I would argue that Christianity, and definitely Mormonism, is a apocalyptic religion where they are like there are a lot of Mormon preppers. There's a lot of prepping and there's a lot of stuff like that. So what my problem ultimately is that Joseph Smith doesn't take his, you know, sheep into the wilderness so that they can like live their own. Okay. So what Christ recommends in the New Testament is to be as the poor, and the poor are this movement of, you know, wandering, I think apostle is the word. Right, because the disciples of Jesus are not the apostles of Jesus, but I believe that the disciples became apostles because the apostles were proselytizing the word of God, the new religion. Anyways, I don't know about that hyperbole. I don't know how big Christ gets. But Joseph Smith is like, we're not talking about Joseph Smith takes cues from Moses to like start the Israel. He wants to start. I think he does believe he's like starting like a new Israel, sort of thing in America. And that's not what Christ is about in my summation of what the New Testament, what Christ generally says in it is definitely not like go and start the Christian nation. And America in and of itself has always struggled with this ultimately, even when it's quite clear that a lot of the founding fathers were heavy into, the church of knowledge or whatever stuff going on in France and De Lafayette and, chopping off people's heads. What? Wait, what? Okay, there we go. Okay. Thank you, dude. Thank you, Nemo, for the cheer. I appreciate it. All right, so yeah. And not to get into a big religious thing, though, I will say religion and the study of religion, at least the Abrahamic religions, is of interest to me. So that is probably something that would come up on the podcast anyways. And that's where I'm at, Mormonism, where are we at? So most of my arguments are generally against the behavior of Joseph Smith, and I've heard a lot of, like, apologia about it. Like, I had Mormons in my house telling me, well, at the end of his life, he recognized the sin, and then he paid for it. And, yeah, okay, fair enough, and I guess the same with Moses, whatever. It's interesting, like, where are the levels of things? How perfect do you have to be to get in? Getting that planet, getting those babies out, the celestial babies, having babies forever, dude. The worst part of living in Utah is how long you've got to wait at the door to get into a store when a family is leaving, because there's like a trail. It's like a duck trail. They just keep coming out. It's like a clown car. Like they're cramming in a minivan. They're cramming like 8 of these guys into a minivan. It's nuts. It's actually kind of surprising. I think one of them, when there's only 1 or 2, that's kind of crazy, right? So yeah, it's definitely a little wild. It's a fun time. It's a good time. Ups and downs. I think some of the friendliness might have recently bit somebody in the butt, one or the other. But that the jury's still out on that, And yeah, it's been an interesting time. I will say there's I have to dig up my Book of Mormon because there's this, thank you for the bit. I fucking appreciate it, man. How much is that? How much is that? Am I... Okay, that's Bitcoin. Hold on, trying to... Yeah, man, like $15 or something? That's awesome, dude. I really do appreciate it. And that's the biggest thing it does is get me the Twitch money faster. So, because you got to hit that limit. But yeah, anyways, so... I'm trying to stay on. I'm sorry that this podcast is a little divorced from chat in some ways, and I have to keep saying that, and I don't know how I'm going to manage it. I don't know, dude. Is the only way for me to do this it seems like a big burn for me to record myself not live. Seems like a really big burn of time, but I'm sorry, Nemo. I'm sorry if it didn't seem like I appreciated it enough. Oh, I'm sorry. Bro, you'll have to tell me that in private. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose my train of thought completely. so I can finish this episode, because I see the end. I see the end. I managed to talk for like a while, so that's good. Yeah, Mormonism, it's wild. It's apparently 80% of the alumni at the college I'm going to is Mormon. That was an interesting stat. I did not think would be 80%, but I have to realize where I am and what that means. And big ups to Carl Malone for being the most famous person, probably not from Utah, that anybody knows about from Utah, other than John Stockton. Is John Stockton Mormon? Hold on. I'm going to Google this right now. John Stockton, Mormon. No, he's Catholic. God, wow. Okay. But I will say, there's freedom of religion here. Okay. You can worship Christ in any way you want. That's freedom of religion in Utah. You can worship Christ in any way you want. As long as you're talking about Christ, you can do whatever you want. You can have a Catholic church. I'm not gonna throw shade. He's probably from like Indiana or something. Oh, Spokane, Washington. Interesting. Anyways, these are Stockton facts. Welcome to Stockton facts. Did anybody come here? All right, good, Nemo. So it's been wild here. I definitely stick out like a sore thumb. One of the first things anybody said to me here was a guy flying a sign who was probably a few screws loose. And he was like, Jesus, instantly. And I performed as Jesus on stage at SUU. And like the Jesus thing it's getting a little old, guy. I know I look a little smarmy, all right? I know my skin color is slightly darker than average here, guys, but look, and I got the long hair. I think I might be cutting my hair tomorrow. I think I might be shaving too. But the shaving will wait till next week. I hesitate to say this. Should I say it? Is it a little personal? I hesitate. I probably shouldn't. I shouldn't get too personal. I do kind of want to talk about romance, love, feeling, amore, tachi. You know, what is love? What's love got to do with it? I want to talk about the entire human experience here. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to, and hopefully in the future, you know, next week I'll come with maybe even some jokes. I mean, I could just read some jokes. Hey, fun fact, guys. Listen, British people are wearing galoshes about 60% of the time. I don't know if you knew that. Just to break up the show a little bit. Fun fact. It's wet. Right? It's wet there and it helps, but they do develop a foot deformity into a galosh shape. They call it mucker's foot, or they put mucker's foot, eh? Or they might go mucker's foot. Oh, it's mucker's foot. Oh, he's got the case of mucker's foot, eh? It's basically English foot binding. Anyways, I just want to give you guys a quick fun fact there. I don't want you to feel like the show is just all me all the time. I talk about me, number one, oh my. And if you know what that song is, you grew up in the country. Woo! You grew up in the country. But yeah, I think this is the kind of show I might have like my own Dark Side Phil moment after. I think this is the kind of show that I might forget to turn off the camera one time, you know? And I think that's what basically every streamer is trying to find a way to like get themselves banned in the most like fabulous way possible. How many Twitch bans do you think were planned? Like planned bans. Like, hey, listen, I'm going to do this. I know it's going to get me banned. Just tell me how long and I'm going to make so much money and you're going to get so much publicity, like you'll pay me to ban me, you know. I think this is the podcast where I could have that moment for me. And it could change my life. Guys, I don't know. And maybe we could change some lives. Maybe there are people out there that we could help. Maybe we could get together and do a car wash, you know? Maybe we could hang out at a barbecue, you know, and just start giving out food to the homeless and all get arrested. Or maybe we could all just be homeless, you know? Maybe we could go and buy a bunch of tents and decide to be homeless and then decide, oh, I don't actually like fentanyl overdosing that much. And then we all take our tents into the woods and I get us around the campfire again and I start singing Kumbaya. Well, you guys know what happens from there, right? That's called a callback. Thank you very much. It takes comedic talent. It takes comedic talons. Bird. Takes bird stuff. If you really want to know. If you want to ask me a question about it, I'll tell you the answer. So what else could I tell you? Oh no, I was on a mission. I was doing something. I was looking something up and then. But Joseph Smith, okay, we could talk about Joseph Smith a little bit more. Dude prints his own money. I think that's I feel like it's treason or something. He starts printing his own Mormon money. Modern day, I don't know, that next prophet to come into the Mormon church, he's launching a crypto coin. Prophet coin. What a great name. What a great name for a crypto. Prophet coin. Cash in on that right now. Pump and dump that motherfucker. The Mormon church does a crypto pump and dump. That would be awesome. FCC investigation. Nothing happens. Nothing ever happens. It's legal. It's fun. Guys, if you bought the Hawk Tua shit and you were like, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich on Hawk Tua. If you bought a meme coin and thought that there was going to be like profit involved, that's on you. That's your problem. You're an idiot. Everybody's like, oh, the FCC, they need to, or the FTC. I said the FCC, didn't I? The FTC. Fuck that. I don't want taxpayer money spent prosecuting Hawk Tua girl. I don't care. All those people deserve to lose their money. They deserved it. This isn't like Rupert. This isn't like Maddox or whatever that guy's name was. This isn't real. This isn't real. Everybody's just thirsty for the fucking country girl that'll spit on that thing. And it's like, they deserve it. So I'm pro Hawk to a girl. That's basically what I'm saying. That's what this is what the first episode, I just want to get that out there. I'm pro Hawk to a girl. And I don't care who she should make that money. She should give it to me. She should give me a little money. I'll take a little Hawk Tua. What else can I say here? So, but I did recently go to a jazz concert. And we've got Christmas coming up, so it was very holiday themed, right? Appropriate. They did a very jazzy version of Frosty the Snowman. And I thought to myself, this is kind of like, this is like the first time Frosty did heroin. And that's a joke about the tragedy of heroin and its impact on the early jazz community. Killed many. But the more I thought about it, the more accurate it was. Because Frosty the Snowman really just lives his life a bit like a heroin addict, right? He's completely inanimate. He's just like, and then somebody gives him his magic hat, puts a happy birthday, and he starts dancing around. And he's like, I'm having a great time, kids. And then just the wind blows, and he's like, put his happy birthday. You know, the kids are like, Frosty, we gotta get you out of here. You're melting. It's too hot. I feel like I'm melting into this couch. You are! You're dying! Let's go! I feel like I'm dying! You are! Let's go! You know, be a whole thing. No, it's not like meth at all. No, well, no, that's the thing, that they would do the heroin and they do a little heroin before they go on stage sometimes, before they do their jazz performance. Maybe cocaine. I don't know. Whatever. It's probably wrong. Happy birthday. That's my Frosty the Snowman impression. But he's not. The thing is, Frosty still sounds more like a heroin addict than a meth head. Because he's like this. Oh, he's kind of reminds me of a Strong Sad from Homestar Runner. Oh. It's actually more, it's funnier than I thought in my own head, because Strong Sad does kind of look like Frosty the Snowman a little bit. So, yeah, Frosty the Snowman, that's fine. Homestar Runner, that was great. That's a great part of my childhood. What else do we got going on here? It's just, I was thinking before, I ran through a bunch of shit in my head, like, oh, I could talk about this, I could talk about that, I could talk about that, and it still wasn't quite enough, maybe. It's interesting. We're near the end. We're getting there. We have about another 15, so I just need my special magic hat, happy birthday. Do I just want to keep workshopping bad stand-up with y'all? I mean, this could be part of what I do, and this could be important. So, but damn, yeah, it's kind of weak. It is kind of weak today. It's just looking like a reading off stand-up to you. I don't know. What did I do recently? What am I doing in the week? I went to a party. Kind of unexpected, very last minute invitation in place of a more personal hangout with somebody. And it was interesting. I played a guitar that smelled like a new car. And I think I got a lot of PCBs absorbed into my skin by playing it. I played a game called Swedish Twister. Not as fun as it sounds. No. Oh, you were playing Swedish Twister? What? No, it's not as fun as it sounds. Some people were having fun. An army dude in army boots basically knocked me over and I lost. And I was like, so is this full contact? Should I brace myself for the attack or something? What? And, people were falling down. They were hitting the ground. Maybe it is full contact, but I was like, shouldn't we let people who aren't taking their turn not get knocked over, But I guess that's the fun of regular Twister, where you're just going over each other or whatever. Or I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to work. So whatever. I think I got a little bit too persnickety about the rules, probably. But that's what I do with every game. But I did win. It took 3 fucking tries, and there were more than 3 people there. I did win. I stood tall. I stood my ground. I was way too close to another dude. That's really what it was. It wasn't I wasn't getting up close and there weren't enough. Of course, I was at a party. What party has a lot of women at it? It's always way more dudes. It's always going to be way more dudes. The starting number of women, I think, was 10. And there's 20 dudes. Just all dudes. That's every party ever. I don't think I've been to parties where that's not the case. That's why I was saying at the beginning with the campfire, somebody's going to hear the fucking. They're not going to be part of it. I don't think there was any fucking, because it was kind of a Mormon party. It was a Mormon party. I didn't see anybody with a solo cup. If anybody was drinking that night, it was me, and I was sober, so no. I won a game of Go Fish. I've never tried harder to win a game of Go Fish. It was fucked up. I was thinking about the meta game of Go Fish on the way home the next day. And I think the meta game of Go Fish is to actually ask everybody for a card that they don't have. And that way you get to draw a lot. And then 3/4 of the way through the game, really start, of course you're masterminding, right? You're listing, you're trying to get the cues. But the more different cards you have in your hand, the more you can hear what you need to get. And if you are unsuspecting at the beginning, I think what I did was I had 3 7s. This is the meta game of Go Fish. And if you're not here for it, you're not here for me. You don't understand what I'm about. I had 3 7s and I realized that I shouldn't have asked for it, but why I won is because nobody had the 7. The 7 was in the pile. And so I'm just listening. All anybody knows I have is a 7 and nobody has one. The best possible case scenario is that you have 3 of a kind in your hand and then you ask for it and nobody has it. That's the best way to win Go Fish. But you got to have different strategies. Where you got 2, okay, go for your 2. Try not to get them pilfered. You don't want them pilfered. But I was thinking about everybody says, oh, Go Fish, it's just random luck. It's just I think there's something to it, because then I was heating up. Because then I was like, you got a 6? Yeah, I got a 6. You got that? Oh, you got that? I was on a roll. So, I don't know. Go Fish. Go Fish. I'm going to move my seat up a little bit. So yeah, that party, the best part of that party was that I got to fit into some pants that hadn't fit in a while. You guys ever do that? Yeah, I actually have goal pants. This is a tactic that I've been using as a fatty for the last few years. I keep a pair of pants that I want to be able to fit into on a hanger in a prominent space in my room. And anytime I'm feeling good, anytime I'm looking fresh, anytime I feel like, ooh, what? Anytime I catch myself in the mirror and I go, ooh, you looking a little less wide. You're looking a little less wide, Bob. I put on those pants and I feel it around. Can I get in there? Can I fit in there? Can I cram it? And you know what? My current goal pants, I kind of fit, But the pants I fit into, I don't think it was too obscene. That's the thing. I fit into these tight pants, these jeans, and I had to take my wallet and phone out of my pocket to play this game of Swedish Twister. But they did not rip. There was no way I was ripping those pants. I wasn't getting full spread. I couldn't do full spread. This other army guy, he came on me with full spread. He came on me full spread. This army guy came on me full spread. I wasn't going to let that happen twice. I got pinned by him one time. My leg was between his leg and like somebody else's leg. And I could feel his leg it almost felt like he was trying to push me over. And, you know what? By the end, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I came out on top. God damn, it feels good. It feels good to be on top. Number 1. But did I really win? Did I win their hearts? That's the thing. That's the game. That's the trick of the party game. You have to win because you want people to remember that you are a winner. And if anybody else tells you differently, they are a loser, right? I've played plenty of party games. I literally played beer pong so well one time that a cute, tall, skinny redhead wanted to go on a date with me. And she did. Nothing else ever happened after that. I went on a date with her and then we went to her party and she passed out. And I never really talked to her ever again after that. I think I was boring at the date, which sucks. But And you know why I played beer pong so well that night? Because it was one of the only nights of my life that I ever snorted Adderall. And that was, honestly, I realized at that point I should be snorting Adderall every day, and I didn't. I just didn't. It just didn't. I never went down that path. I understand now why everybody snorts their Adderall. It's because it makes you fucking God tier. It unlocks your third eye, your chakras open up, and you start pulling way out of your league. Yeah, I should have started snorting Adderall every day at that point. Did not. So maybe my heart is better off for it, but I'm also pulling fewer tall redheads these days. So there's that. But you never know. I do blame Superbad for distorting an entire generation of fat funny men and they're what they think they can pull because they think Emma Stone is gonna like them like she likes Jonah Hill in that movie, and it's not gonna happen. There was a time in my life where I was like, oh, how old is Emma Stone? Am I even allowed to? We're like the same age. Actually, how old is she? Hold on. We are literally the same age. I'm a little older. I'm like 6 months older than her. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to LA and fall in love with Emma Stone. And her giant eyes. Like beautiful giant bug eyes. No, she's very pretty. But mostly because she crushes on Jonah Hill. Damn, they don't even list Superbad. I'm looking at her movies on Google. It's like La La Land is there. I didn't even know she was in Cruella. Where's Superbad? Aloha? I've never heard of like most of this shit. I guess she was in Zombieland. I missed her in that. What do you mean? Where's Superbad? Superbad's like one of the best movies of all time. What do you mean? All right. Oh, it's by year. I see. Anyways, that's my little Emma Stone rant. And I think that this podcast was blessed to ever have anybody listening to it tonight. I got to be honest with you. We still have a little bit to go. I think we did have a little bit more than 15 minutes when I said 15 minutes. So pardon me. But yeah, everybody wants to be the winner, right? You got to win. You got to win eventually, right? I didn't win every game, but I won eventually. And, I showed the whole breadth of human experience. I said I'm capable of failure. I'm capable of success. We're going to keep it cool. I'm going to try and crack a few jokes, hopefully get some giggles, making the chicas laugh. That's what it's about. That's why we funny. That's why we do funny. I was in 4th grade. Well, okay, this is now I'm talking about my childhood. So this is the good way to wrap it up here and give you the full breadth of my experience, because I kind of teased talking about it. 4th grade. I'm sitting near the back of the class, and there are 4 4th grade baddies, right? For me, for what I'm looking for, where I'm at. One of them, their grandma lived across the street from me, which I could have played up. I could have played that up, but I never did. I think there's an alternate reality where her and I have a very depressed life together. Well, anyways, and I decided, I made a decision. I got a laugh, like something eventually. I don't even remember what it was. Like I just kind of feel this moment at this point. I got a laugh, Oh shit. I'm getting attention. I'm getting female attention. This is working. I'm on to something. 9-year-old me is like scheming this up. Up to this point, I kind of thought I'm 9 years old and I'm like, I'm going to be alone forever. But I think honestly, I think I was like in kindergarten. I was like, oh my God, I'm not getting any, bro. This isn't working out. Everybody else is running around the playground with their girl. I got to figure this shit out. Then I would like throw myself into, anyways, not going to get too into it, but I'd just say fourth grade. Also, fourth grade, that was the year the teacher was like talking to my parents, and my parents told me like, you know, he doesn't have very many friends. It's like, Jesus Christ, how many friends do I have? I was like friendly with like 5 people maybe, but I guess maybe they didn't like actually. That's the thing. This teacher was probably like, are you actually his friend? Like, no. That's probably what people were saying. People were always talking badly about me behind my back. This is an interesting place to go with it, but it's all about getting the girls to laugh, and it's worked for me before. And honestly, I think to this, I thought I got better at this. Actually, yeah, like I thought I got better at the dating thing and like having interesting shit to say all the time. I think I've actually gotten worse. So I don't know. I'm going to have to, I think hopefully this, right? Hopefully this, if I can keep a plate spinning in my head of conversation for an hour and a half once a week, hopefully that's enough for me to get through a date. That's what I'm going to say. And I'll also say, wish me luck.